Hey everyone, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have my July book haul. I bought so many books, like 25 books in the month of July. I think that it's all because I started my booktube channel. I just want to buy all the books now. I also went on vacation in July and I had some family in town in July too, and they also made me want to buy books. So let's just get right on into it. So the first book that I got was The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. My mom actually gave this to me. I've been wanting to read it basically since the movie came out. I don't know too much what it's about. I think it takes place in World War II, and it has to do with a little girl. But I'm very excited to be reading this eventually. The second book I bought was like kind of a cover buy, but not really for the cover, and it was the Ravenclaw edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I had to get this from Book Depository because I think it's only sold out in English in England. But it's really neat. Like obviously the pages are colored because this is the Ravenclaw. They all have different colors depending on what house you get. And then there's also in the very back some like information about whatever house you got. So there's like some information about Ravenclaw. It's really neat. I probably won't reread this actual book. It'll probably just be for decoration. But yeah, I like it. The next book I bought is also a Harry Potter book, and that is The Tales of Beetle the Barb. I'm actually reading this for Booktubeathon. As we speak, it is the week of Booktubeathon, so this is in my TBR. And this is, again, it's one of the three. There's a Quidditch, a book about Quidditch, and the Fantastic Beasts book, and they're all like in similar covers as these. It's called The Library of Hogwarts. I'll probably get all three. I'll get the other two. I obviously already have this one. But I probably won't read them. I'm only reading this one because it's short. But I'm excited to own it. The next book I bought was totally because of BookTube and the hype. And again, I'm reading this one for BookTubeathon. It is the Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I haven't read it yet, so I have zero idea what it's about. It's not a book that I would normally have bought without BookTube, but a lot of people say this is their favorite series, so I am excited to get to it eventually. I also got Geekarella, which I'm reading this for Booktubeathon. I think I grabbed them all at the same time. I got all of these on vacation. By the way, I went home at the very beginning of July. So, this is one I've been wanting to read for a while. There's something very appealing about it. It is basically a retelling of Cinderella, but with geek culture in it, I presume. Yeah, I'm really excited to get this one. This one is by Ashley Poston. I'm not good with names. The next book I got was, I mentioned this in my mid-year book freakout, and then I went and got it. It is When It's Real by Erin Watt. I got an advertisement on this for Goodreads, and it sounded really good, so I ended up picking it up at Barnes & Noble. It is about a girl who's paid to be the girlfriend of a celebrity who kind of has a bad rap, and then of course they fall in love. The other thing I talked about in my mid-year book freakout is I wanted to read more books by Elle Kennedy. She normally writes new adult. At least that's what I've read of her. And it turns out that Erin Watt is actually Elle Kennedy plus another author who are writing together under a pen name. So I thought that was, funny. The next book I got, my mom also gave me, and I'm so excited for this one. I'm not planning on reading it in August, but I definitely want to get to it maybe in October. And that is The Explorers Guild, Volume 1. This is by Kevin Costner and John Bayard, but of course, name recognition is Kevin Costner, the actor. I heard about this book first on Sue's Book Nook, her channel. And it's such an interesting book because it's like a mix of graphic novel and now I can only find parts that have the graphic novel and like traditional text. It's like a mix of both. I'm so excited to read this book. So the next book my mom also gave me, and I didn't even know she was giving it to me, and I have no idea what it's about. It's called The Most Dangerous Place on Earth by Lindsay Lee Johnson. I think it takes place in a high school, and that's supposed to be the most dangerous place on Earth, which is probably true. But I am excited to get to this. Obviously she liked it. If she gave it to me, she wouldn't give me a book she don't like. The next book I got was Books A Million, which is my local bookstore in the town I live in. They were having a sale where it's buy one autographed edition, get one free. So the one that I really wanted, and I didn't even really want this autographed, but it was the only copy that they had in the store, and it was Beartown by Frederick Bachman, and he's the person who wrote A Man Named Ove, and I'm so looking forward to this book. I'm planning to read it in August. It's about a hockey town whose junior varsity hockey team is doing really well, and I think it's probably about like what that effect of being success has on the town and has on the boys. I'm very excited to read this book. So this was the one I really wanted. So I got one either half off or free, I can't remember. So I got Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld, and this is a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. I had actually already read this. I read it back in May right after I read Pride and Prejudice. I had this I was crazed about Pride and Prejudice, so then I watched all the miniseries, and then I read this book, and it was really good. It is a modern day retelling of Pride and Prejudice, so I mean, you know what's going to happen, but it was interesting. It takes place in Cleveland, and it was just interesting seeing it in America and seeing the story happen in modern day with, with one night stands and, phones and things like that. I really enjoyed it, obviously, because it's a signed copy of it, so. The next book I got also at Books A Million because it was $6.97 on clearance, and it was Ernest Cline's Armada, and you've probably heard me rave about the other Ernest Cline book, Ready Player One. I thoroughly enjoyed that book, and so I knew I wanted to read another book by him, and so when I saw that this was on sale, I picked it up. I think this also has to do with video games. That seems to be kind of the books that he writes about. I'm going to listen to the audiobook version because Will Wheaton narrates it, and now I'm obsessed with Will Wheaton's narrations. But I also wanted a physical copy in case it was really good, and I wanted to, treasure it for the rest of my life, guys. Okay. The next book I got was What Stands in the Storm by Kim Cross. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I got this book confused with another book. I've been dying to read Mercy of the Sky. I'm not sure who the author is. I'll leave it below. But that book is about the April 2013 Moore Oklahoma tornado. And that tornado really hits close to home. Like, I wasn't in that tornado or anything, but I used to live in Oklahoma. It's a whole thing. And I got this book confused with it. This book is also about a supercell storm, but it's about the 2011 storm that went through 21 states. And I believe it hit Tuscaloosa. That's the big tornado out of this storm, was the Tuscaloosa one. I'm still excited to read this. I'll definitely read it. But I did also just order Mercy of the Sky from Book Outlet, I believe. So maybe I'll read them at the same time and do a comparison. The next two books I'm going to talk about were complete cover buys. I specifically bought them because they are beautiful. They're both books I've wanted to read, but I got these particular editions because they're gorgeous. So the first one I got was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I've actually never read this book. I never had to read it in school. I don't know. I've never read it. I'm planning to read it in August. But I think it's so cool, I don't know what these are called, but I think it's pretty, and the cover with the leather jacket is so cool, and the back says Stay Gold. And yeah, I'm very excited to read this book. It's the 50th anniversary edition, so. And the second book I bought because of the cover was Heidi by Johanna Spyri. I'm sure that's how you say it, guys. This book has a funny story to it because in 4th grade, I did accelerated reader, and I got it gave me a low like reading level, and I got very competitive saying no, I can read higher than that. So I decided I was going to read Heidi, but the book was too hard. So I instead watched the movie, and FYI, the movie is nothing like the book. I like got a complete F on that accelerated reader, and I've still never read Heidi. But I'm gonna do it this year, guys. I think I'm gonna read this maybe in November. But I thought this is the Puffin and Bloom edition, and I think it's really pretty. They also have like an Anne of Green Gables in this like in Bloom thing that I've never read Anne of Green Gables either, so I may get that edition too. So we're going from the classics of Heidi and the Outsiders to a complete trashy romance about a hockey goalie. This is called Pipe Dreams by Serena Bowen. I heard about this one on Peace Loves Books, her channel. She reads romances. And this just sounded good. I kind of like hockey books, and I like trashy romances. I think this is about a goalie, obviously, and he has a daughter, and one of his ex-girlfriends comes back to work on the team, and then I think it's about how they reconnect and things like that. I don't know. These books are super easy to fly through, so I'm gonna read that fairly soon. And the next book I got was Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. I don't know why I got this book, guys. I got sucked in. I got it from Book Outlet, so it was only like $3 or $4. And I actually own, this is either the second or third in the series, I'm not sure, but I actually own the first in the series, which is Anne and the French Kiss. So guys, book 2 was so bad for me. Why did I get this? I don't know. I'm going to read it eventually, or I'll give it to my sister. So, the next book I got, I'm super excited for. It is The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. It's actually way thicker than I thought it was going to be. It is, holy moly, it's like 450 pages. I thought this was going to be like a short story and be like one page. Not one page, 100 pages. But this is a collection of short stories, I believe. And I don't remember where I heard this from, but someone was raving about the Paper Menagerie, saying how it's like one of the best things ever written. So, yeah, I'll probably read one of these at a time, kind of scatter it through over the course of a month or something. But I am excited to finally own this. I've been wanting it for quite a while. The next book that I ordered from Book Outlet was Half Wild Stories by Robin MacArthur. I'm going to be real honest, guys, and I apparently had a low point when I made this Book Outlet order because I have never heard of this book before. I guess it just sounded interesting. It says it's some stories about a small town in Vermont that have to do with wilderness and things. I have zero idea, but I'll read it. Maybe I'll read it in like the winter time. The fall time. This is kind of a fall-y picture. Maybe I'll do that. I'm kind of a seasonal reader. I like to read winter books in winter and stuff like that. The next book I ordered was Whatever Life Throws at You by Julie Cross. This seems to be, it's about baseball and just kind of a baseball romance. I love baseball nonfiction, and so therefore I kind of like it in my romances. So yeah, I'm interested in this. I'm sure it's not going to be like earth-shattering or anything, but I don't know. It seems interesting. Then I got the next two are I think they're companions in some sort of way. The first one is Come Back to Me by Mila Gray, and then the second one is Stay With Me by Mila Gray, obviously. They both have to do with the guys in both of these are romances, and the guys are both in the military. I believe Come Back to Me is the girl finds out that either her brother or her boyfriend died overseas while on deployments. And then Stay With Me, I believe the gentleman is like injured overseas and I don't know, meets someone, and of course she like saves him and gives him life, a life worth living. The next two books I got are also in the series. The first one is Until Friday Night. It's by Abby Glines. I am terrible with names, guys. And then the second one is Under the Lights. And these both seem to be, they take place in high school, they're YA romances, and about football. And I love the show Friday Night Lights. It's such a good show if you haven't watched it. So I'm hoping that these will be kind of reminiscent of the romances in them. So I'm very excited about these. These would be, when should I read these? Maybe like September, like start of school, start of football. Oh, I only have 3 more, and technically 2 of them are a set. This is another one I fell into the hype. These books were on sale during Amazon Prime Day. That's why I got them. Plus, everyone hypes them. It is, yes, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I have no idea. I have a vague idea what these are about. I believe it's about, like, 6 people who have to do a heist, and that's all I know. But I do know that they are so hyped. And I feel like I'll read these and then probably give them away to my sister. But I am really excited to have them. They were really cheap on Amazon Prime Day, so that's kind of the only reason I bought them. Although Leigh Bardugo also writes the new Wonder Woman novelization, which I think comes out in August, and I'm real excited about that. I'm definitely going to get that and read it like as soon as I get it. I love the Wonder Woman movie, and I'm so excited for the book. And that like an established author is doing it. That it's not like some rando author no one has ever heard of or who's had no success. So I'm very excited about that book. Anyway, the last book I got was The Air He Breathes by Brittany C. Cherry. This book I heard about from Peace Loves Books. It's a romance. It's about a bad boy who, the girl has been warned never to go near him, but I'm sure that she'll find out that he's misunderstood or something. But I bought this on Amazon, and the reviews are outrageously good for it. People say it's so emotional and just amazing. It's the first one in a series called The Elements. So if I like it, I'll get the rest of the series. But the most interesting thing about this book is that it's self-published, which I didn't realize when I ordered it. I've never read a self-published book before. So it'll be interesting to see how it compares to traditionally published books. Superficially, the cover is real nice. Like, the art, obviously, is real nice. But the feel of it, it's like velvety. It's really nice and high quality. So I'm really excited to read, basically, not all of these books, let's be honest. I bought some because I was crazy. But, like, 80% of these books I'm super excited to read. So that is my August book haul. Please subscribe and leave a comment if you've ever read any of these books or what book that you think I should read first. Okay, bye! The next book I'm going to not read, but the next book I'm going to haul for you is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins.